Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys Formula, America's Medicare Associates and Retirement Tax Partners with Nolan Baker. ARHQ.com is the website to find out more about Nolan and the team, the events that they have going on. Reserve your space for those events, including the upcoming car show in June. ARHQ.com, the phone number, 419-794-3030. Previously, we were talking about James Brown and the advice that he gave to Eddie Murphy. James Brown also famously, when he passed away, did not have an estate plan. If you ask someone how much money you should have before worrying about a will, a trust, or an estate plan, they might say $1 million, according to a Schwab survey. I saw an article on MarketWatch, Nolan, that said that the number is actually a lot less than that. When it comes to estate planning and drawing up all the important legal documents, is there actually a magic number connected to it?
Well, I would say that magic number is 18. And what I mean by that is I think every adult in America should have an estate plan, and not having an estate plan is a mistake. Mm-hmm. When we think about estate plans, we think about, again, what do we want to have happen and what are our wishes? So in the survey that they did, it was talking about $1 million, and at that point looking at wills, trust, or what other estate documents that they have. The thing about that, is that even an 18-year-old, so again, I have an 18-year-old, my other son is about to turn 22, and I believe that both of them should have an estate plan because it's going to document really kind of what their wishes are if something happens. Now, you might think, well, I don't have a lot of assets, but if you have a car, if you have a bank account, or maybe you own your own house, you have assets that you need instructions. In addition to that, when you think about the word estate plan, it's not just your will. It is also the supporting documents that go along with that. Most commonly would be like your healthcare power of attorney, your living will, your durable or financial power of attorney. Heaven forbid if my son, was involved in an automobile accident, the rent is still going to be due next month. There's still bills that are going to have to be paid. And if my son doesn't have a power of attorney, you can't, or somebody can't just go into his investment account and start taking money out of it to pay his bills. If I went to the bank and said, hey, I want to take some money out, I've got to pay his rent this month, they're going to be like, well, you're not listed on the account. There's no way that you can do that. So even at his young age, again, my youngest being 18, even at the age of 18, the estate plans is going to come with important documents that talk about somebody being able to take care of financial decisions for you, somebody be able to make healthcare decisions for you. It's going to also help address the issue of like a living will, meaning that, if you're in a state that you're incapacitated and there is little to no likelihood that you're ever to come back, what does that look like for you in your situation? And, I just can't even imagine that if I was a parent to be in that situation, especially not knowing what my son's wishes were. So having those legal documents in place is a good way to do it. Working with our office, there's a couple things that we can do. We can go through a couple of different online services on ways that you can get it done from the comfort of your home, from the comfort of our office. These are options that tend to be a little bit more flexible, a little bit more affordable. We also work a lot with a couple local attorneys, and this is, again, going back to that team approach. We have a team in place that we can help put things together, and we can pull in, one of our attorneys if you'd like to sit down with somebody face-to-face. Maybe you have a little bit more of an advanced situation. But again, the things that you want to look at is having a power of attorney documents, and it can be a disaster if you don't have those documents in place if somebody is hurt or unable to make decisions. Number two is you want to avoid probate, because probate can be a costly process and it can take a lot of time. What probate is the instructions that are given to the judge in the court system on where you live that says, how do you want you have your assets distributed? And if you don't have a will, you don't have an estate plan, it's up to the court system to decide what that estate plan looks like in your situation. And they're going to charge fees and expenses, and the attorney's going to charge fees and expenses ultimately to probate that. So it can be very costly, very time-consuming. Number three is it creates family conflict. Mm-hmm. Working with many retirees over the years, I would say those people who have laid out their wishes, in the event that something happens, those tend to work more smoothly. We recently updated our estate plans with a local attorney, and we actually sat down with our children. We walked them through what our estate plans are, where they're located at, what that looks like if something happens. So it's going to help hopefully try to reduce what family conflict can happen when a loved one pass away. You see that happen too often. And number 4 is your family may lose control over what happens. Things like not having properly named beneficiary forms, and having accounts that ultimately become taxable that again go through probate. Not leaving certain items that you wanted to individuals, and just having a situation where things get contested. So not having an estate plan can be a big mistake. Again, here in America's Retirement Headquarters, it's part of our team action plan. The other value that you get from talking with myself and our team is, number 1, is I'm not an attorney. So you're not going to have a bill running in the background as we have a conversation. But being somebody that's been in the business for over 30 years and working with hundreds of families and helping give them feedback and advice, again, we can talk to you about what are some of the resources and get you connected with what might be the right resource so you don't fall into this trap or mistake with your estate plans.
We hear these stories all the time of celebrities who pass away without a will or an estate plan. James Brown, as I mentioned, Michael Jackson, James Gandolfini. And the reason that we know about them is because, well, they're celebrities. They're in the spotlight, so it gets, dragged out into the spotlight. But it happens every single day to people who have significantly less than them and who are not, celebrities. Just that lack of planning, but it still creates that conflict and that tension, and it can be avoided. So it is the E in the Retirement Team Action Plan, estate planning, is right there. And it is something the team at America's Retirement Headquarters can help walk you through and make it as easy a conversation as possible. To get started, just reach out, go to the website, arhq.com, or give a call, 419-794-3030.